Hey heroes, another video recording for you. This one is on time management, and today we're going to help solve this guy's problem. I know there's quite a few of us who found ourselves with just too many tasks to do and not sure where to start and how to get them done. We're going to talk about ways that you can identify which tasks are most important and which tasks are critical, that you need to finish them right away, and which tasks probably shouldn't be on your list in the first place. The way that we're going to do that is using the Covey Time Matrix. This is a really cool tool made popular by Stephen Covey in his book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, but it dates all the way back to Eisenhower, the supreme commander of the Allied forces in World War II. So he had quite a bit on his plate, and he used a decision matrix to help him identify which tasks to focus on, which ones were important, which ones could wait. So let's get rolling. Here's the overview. I'm going to talk about what the time matrix is, a breakdown of some of the key principles and what makes this thing work, when and how to use this time matrix, and then if you stick around to the end, how this simple tool can make you more attractive. I'm not kidding, backed up by science. So stick around, good stuff. Without further ado though, the Covey Time Matrix. Like I said, it comes from Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's really a framework, a matrix for prioritizing your tasks based on importance and urgency. And the distinction between the important tasks, those are the things that are aligned with your goals and are really going to contribute to long-term missions and values. Urgent tasks are things that are timeline driven, that they need your attention immediately, but they might not necessarily be aligned with your long-term goals. Let's dig into that. That's the key, is the distinction between important and urgent. Important means, is it aligned with your goals and values? Is it really taking you towards who you want to become into the future? You can also evaluate the return on investment. If I do this task, is it going to get me what I want? Is it going to be worth my time and the energy that it's going to take to complete it? Or is it just a waste? And if you get confused, you can seek feedback. This is a great time to ask other people or to reference your goal list that you have. And does this really resonate with it? A good key question here is down there on the bottom. Does this task bring me closer to or further away from the person that I'd really like to become? Does it bring me closer to my goals, or is it taking me further away? So those are great questions to really narrow that down. And then the next question is urgent or not urgent. These are deadline driven. Usually it's determined whether it's going to have an impact on someone else, or is it just going to be an impact on you. That can determine whether it's urgent or not urgent, and whether this is a pop-up thing that you have to take care of. A flat tire in the car, spill hot coffee on myself, a sick kid at school. Whatever the case is it urgent or is it not urgent? And is it routine? Can it be made a routine? A good question to this is, what are the consequences if I delay? If I don't take action on this right now? Can help you determine whether this is urgent or not urgent. The way that this plays out on this matrix, across the top, urgent, not urgent. Across the left, important, not important. And it's broke up into 4 different quadrants. Digging into urgent and important. This is in quadrant 1. This is both urgent, means it needs to happen right now, and it's important. It really aligns with my goals and where I want to go. These are things like crises that you really need to take care of. These are also tasks that you've put off for a long time. Say you had a big presentation you needed to do, or you haven't really knocked out your session prep survey, and now it's an emergency because it's almost 24 hours out and you got to get that thing on at time. But it's pressing problems, deadline driven. These things can lead to stress. It leads to, if you keep putting them off or if they keep popping up, it leads to you constantly feeling like you got to put out fires all the time. Some situations that are around it, but that's quadrant 1, urgent and important. Quadrant 2, on the other hand, this is important, still important, but not necessarily urgent just yet. So now these are prevention and capability improvement. This is where fitness, recreation, things like that. If you're planning for future events, or if you got a huge homework assignment that you need to knock out, it's where you start that homework assignment well before it's due and start making progress on it to help alleviate that stress. It's where you recognize new opportunities and build new relationships. The results you can expect from this are balance. It's going to help build that discipline. It's going to create fewer crises. If you put that big presentation you have to do, if you put that thing off for too long, well then guess what? It becomes urgent. And that's when you feel the stress. So quadrant 2 is where the magic happens. This is where you take classes and you take care of needs ahead of time in order to set yourself up for success so that you're rolling. Now that's quadrant 2. That's important and not urgent. Good time, good place to spend your time. Quadrant 3, now we're getting into the not important. So these don't align with your goals, but somehow they're urgent. They're still an emergency. I love this. Somebody else's emergency. That's when somebody hits you up and, hey, I really need your help right now. Can you come and help me right now? These are some interruptions, some emails, meetings, proximate pressing, or popular activities. These are those pop-up notifications you get on social media, in text, or pop-up false urgency emails where they're just trying to initiate actions. They scream urgency, like you got to act now, take the place right now, but it doesn't necessarily align with your goals. And what this can do is it's short-term focus. It kind of makes you feel like a pinball, like you're always bouncing around from idea to idea, but you're not really making any progress. And you certainly aren't making any ground on your goals and where you want to be. One thing that a lot of people don't realize is busy work falls into this category. Busy work is things that you're doing instead of doing the big goal-related item that you need to work on. Me, for example, working on my dissertation for my doctorate degree, if I have a big deadline or a big paper that I need to write, you would be amazed at how effective or efficient I can become. Boy, I'm cleaning cars and vacuuming under couches and doing all kinds of busy work that is not necessarily important. It doesn't really align with the goals that I had. And it ends up being a big time suck. So this is an area that you really want to avoid. Try not to get sucked into quadrant 3. Now quadrant 4, on the other hand, this is not important and it's not urgent. So this is where you just get sucked into social media, busy work, some phone calls, time wasters, pleasant activities. This is the doom scrolling that you do on your phone, right? If you wake up one day and you're sitting in a beanbag chair covered with Cheetos dust in your mom's basement, you've been spending a little too much time in quadrant number 4. It's not important. It's not urgent. It's just comfortable. What happens when you spend too much time in here? Total irresponsibility. You get fired from jobs and you're not making any progress on any goal anywhere. Now, quadrant number 4 does have some benefits. Sometimes it's okay to dabble in quadrant 4. Take a look at social media. Watch a movie on Netflix. That's okay to relax and to unwind, right? We talked about planning the day you'd like to have. This is when you want to do it. Now, if the Netflix warning says, "Are you still there?" pops up, maybe you're spending a little too much time. It might be time to hop off of Netflix and get back to work. That's quadrant number 4. All 4 of these quadrants together, they look like this. So between urgent, not urgent, important, and not important, breaking each one of them down. Now, here's a tip for you. If you're experiencing stress, some excessive stress, it feels like you're constantly running around and putting out fires, that is a symptom that you may be spending too much time on things that aren't important. So the first thing you want to do is identify which tasks are important and which tasks are not important. Focus on those important tasks first. If you're feeling that stress, if the cause is spending too much time as quadrant 3 and 4, what that looks like is this. And the cure is to spend a little more time up in quadrant number 2. Planning, preparing before those emergencies pop up. Some of them are going to be unavoidable. You don't plan for a flat tire. You can plan for the things that you can prevent. That will help maximize the amount of time and the amount of mental space and mental room you have to take care of those urgent and important things. Here's some of the pitfalls of focusing on some of those urgents on 1 and 3. We become reactive rather than proactive. That means we wait till the deadline gets up to us before we start taking action. If you have a deadline looming, Start putting milestones in place. Use your Panda planner. Use this matrix to keep it so that it doesn't become urgent. This is the key to long-term success and prevent that stuff, that crisis management, so you can coolly and calmly align your actions with your long-term goals. Start making real progress. You'd be amazed at how efficient you can be, how effective you can be. Here's where this thing lines up with our previous video. I'll throw a link down in the description to this. This is on the Panda Planner. When you're taking a look at your tasks, some of the folks ask me, how do I prioritize which tasks are most important? Boom. That's this video right here. Some of the tasks that are most important, which one's not important. And then we go into which of those important tasks are urgent and not urgent. You break those out and prioritize those right here within the Panda Planner. Within a time matrix, here's the simple and easiest rule when you're aligning your tasks. You want to manage the things that are urgent and important. Manage them. That means when they pop up, you take care of them, right? But you want to focus your time on Quadrant 2. This is where the majority of your time should be spent, in that preventative stage. And it's like taking care of your physical body. Focus time on taking care of it. Trust me, if you put this off for too long, it will certainly become urgent and in a way that probably won't resonate with you. The next, down there on the bottom, Quadrant 3 activities, the FOMO, the fear of missing out, avoid these. Avoid them if you can, as much as you can. We don't want to spend any time. It's not important anyways, and it's urgent. It might be somebody else's emergency, not necessarily yours. Now, quadrant number 4, why not avoid those? Well, because that's where some of our recreation comes in. Taking the time to plan the day that you'd like to have. That includes a little bit of recreation. You want to limit it, enjoy in moderation, but it's okay. It's okay to spend a little bit of time down in quadrant 4 in order to recoup, and just to de-stress for a little bit. Very powerful stuff. So in summary, here's how to do it. Here's how we use this Covey Time Matrix. You list out all your tasks like we talked about. You sort them by important and not important. And those important tasks are the ones that we're going to focus on. And then identify which one of those are urgent and not urgent. If they're urgent, we manage those tasks in quadrant number 1. And then prioritize the tasks in quadrant number 2. That's where we want to spend the most of our energy, the most of our effort. Now, if you remember, I talked about how this can actually help make you more attractive. Spending more time in quadrant number 2 actually helps to reduce the amount of stress you experience. It also boosts your confidence because you feel far more effective. You're working and making progress towards your goals and what's important to you as decided by you and determined by you. That means that you're living out your own personal freedom and you're heading in the direction of the person that you want to become. And that can make you more confident. And confidence is attractive. Attacking your day with purpose and confidence, you walk differently. You talk differently. You're cool, calm, and collective because each step of your day has been planned out. You know where you're going and you know how to get there. This can help reduce stress and that insecurity. It helps you feel more self-assured and decisive. It helps you be more resilient. Most importantly, it helps resonate with your true authentic self. And there's been studies by the Society of Personal and Social Psychology and even in Psychology Today. Dozens and dozens of studies have showed this, that when you display more confidence, that people find you more attractive. That can be beneficial at work, obviously in social settings, in your personal relationships, even whether you're married or not. And also helping and talking with customers and potential clients. You just radiate and exude that confidence. So use this tool in conjunction with our Panda Planner. Use the Covey Time Matrix, maximize quadrant number 2. And of course, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to hit me up. I'm here to help. All right, see you in the next video.